I guess my question is, to sum that all up, is how do you feel about groups being in like Kemetic spirituality, and I guess how should I take the reading that I've gotten outside of the group that I'm in right now?
Okay, so that's a great question, right? Because it ties into, not just comedic groups, but any groups. Because you'll find, when I did the live yesterday with Imani, she was talking about, if you're looking for a community, you can find virtual communities, right? And I feel like a caveat that we should have said, and I kind of feel like we touched on, but should have pushed more, is before you join that community, know thyself. Know thyself and understand your intention for joining that community. I feel like sometimes when we join groups, we join communities, we join anything where it's a bunch of people gathering under a certain title or a certain idea, we feel the need to have groupthink. We feel the need that we need to all be on the same page and follow the same rules and do the same things. And that is not the case, even with the wellness community. That is not the case. Everybody is their own individual. And the biggest thing is about doing what benefits your wellness. Do not feel the need. If you choose to join a group, that doesn't mean you have to do what the group does, or you have to agree with everything the group believes, or you have to adapt the science of the group, or you have to be aligned with all of the intentions of the group. Just because you are a part of a group does not mean you have to have group think. So be very mindful of that. And to avoid falling victim to group think, you have to know yourself and know what you believe and know how you feel. What do you think about that? Oftentimes when we join groups, they already have their laws, they have their commandments, they have whatever already set. And then we just follow that. But why are you doing that? That why question kills a lot of groups, okay? Because when you ask, well, why do you do that? And they don't have a response, it's just because it's what we do. That's a sign of group think. There is no foundation, there is no principle, there is no science behind it. They just do this because it's just what they do. And most of the people doing it are just doing it because everybody else is doing it, but you have to set your own rules, set your own standard, know yourself, and really study yourself first. Ask yourself, what do you believe about certain things? I gave the example before about understanding your conditioning, right? And start with the 42 laws of Maya, or start with the 10 commandments, and ask yourself, what do you think about murder? One of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill. Okay, but what if someone is trying to harm your children? Are you not going to kill? What if someone is trying to harm you? What if they're trying to kill you? Thou shalt not kill. Do you really believe in that commandment? Or do you personally believe that maybe there should be some subtitles? Maybe there should be some exceptions to the rule. What do you really think? What do you believe? What do you feel like is the right thing? Other than what you've been told, other than what you've been conditioned, other than what this group said should happen, or, even follow, study Kemetic, study Kemetic science, study Kemetic laws, study Kemetic rules, but also study them to understand and not be ready to practice. Study everything to understand and not to practice it. Don't practice anything until you studied some of everything. Because you may realize that, okay, I started practicing this, but I then study something else that kind of contradicts that, and I see where the contradiction is coming from, and my spirit is leading me more towards this, so I'm gonna go here. You can do that. You can do that. So joining a group or being a part of a group is okay, but don't fall victim to group think. Know thyself, study thyself. Study what you feel, you believe. Be your own religion. Be your own religion. Be your own set of practices. Create your own set of laws for how you govern your life. And don't put those on anybody else. Don't put those standards on anybody else, but it's just for you and what you hold close and what you hold near. And then if you decide to join a group, be a part of a group, maintain who you are and don't feel obligated to follow the group at all. Now, on the first question with regards to like the attention and, like being able to focus so that you can manifest, once again, spirit knows all. They know you. They know what you can do. They know what you are able to do. And, having ADD or ADHD, and, having that diagnosis, honestly, what I've come to find is that people who struggle with attention the most are usually most connected with the spiritual realm. So usually that's a sign, like when you have an active mind, it's because you have a very active spirit. And once you are able to really study your mind, you'll really be able to study and tap into the spiritual realm and understand the messages that are really trying to be communicated with you. Your first form of meditation needs to be writing down all of your thoughts. When you are trying to meditate, or when you're sitting there and you're meditating, and if your mind is super active, write everything down. Everything down. So one way that I do readings, right? One way I do them is I do writing. So it's like the spirit will just be telling me things, and I just write everything. And sometimes it does not make sense. Like I'll be sitting across from the person, and I'll ask spirit to communicate. And oftentimes it'll be random stuff. But what some people may perceive as just an active mind with random thoughts and random things happening, it's actually able to be all strung together, and it's a connection and a message from spirit. You see what I'm saying? So just start by writing everything down when you meditate. I really want to teach a class on spiritual readings and like tapping into being able to do spiritual readings, because we all can communicate with spirit. But the way that you do it is not going to look how it looks on TV for everybody. It's not always, pulling cards and throwing bones. Sometimes it may happen that way, where you sit and you meditate and all of these random thoughts come to your mind, and they may feel random, or you may feel like your mind is darting around, but spirit is trying to bring your attention to several signs. They're not actually thoughts, they're signs that are meant to be put together to give you a message on what you need to do to manifest exactly what it is that you desire. So that's why I advise, write down everything. Don't feel like when you are meditating or you are trying to manifest, that meditation has to be you sitting there and quiet and focused on one thought or quieting your mind. Sometimes meditation just starts with you studying your thoughts, studying how you think, studying what you are thinking about. That's really what it is. And then open your eyes and read through the thoughts. And sometimes you'll be surprised the story that's being told to you, or the message that you are given. Sometimes a day later, something that you wrote down that had crossed your mind, that you was like, I don't know why that thought came through, or why this thought interrupted that thought, you'll see it manifest the next day. And it was really spirit trying to give you a warning of something that was going to happen. Okay, so that's a blessing to have that power and to have that ability. Now it's really about just like knowing how to read it and knowing what it means. Okay, so write all the thoughts down, sit, meditate, write all the thoughts down, everything that you're thinking about, and then go back and study them. See if there's a message, see if there's sometimes you may just need to carry the book around and just pay attention to your life and pay attention to the environment. Okay, and then when it comes to manifestation and deciding what you want to manifest, you may need to manifest in a different way. Meditation or sitting down and focusing on a single thought may not be your way of manifesting. You may need to draw, you may need to paint, you may need to write, you may need to manifest in that way. And that could be how you put that energy out there and manifest.
Thank you. That was really helpful, because I don't want to like cry in front of a whole bunch of people I know, but I've always felt like out of place or like weird, like I didn't fit in. And I don't know if anybody else in the discussion has ever dealt with like any type of like being diagnosed with a mental illness or anything, but like as a girl, ADD is not really that prominent supposedly. And then as a Black woman, so I've always kind of just felt, it was only after I joined the military that it was like I got an actual diagnosis and started working on like, but like living life, feeling like
it was just, thank you for saying it, because it feels good to know that like me feeling all the feelings is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. So thank you.
You're welcome. And really, like, you guys, when it comes to having a spiritual gift and connecting with spirit, most people who are readers and who are diviners, they thought they had anxiety. They thought they had ADD or ADHD. They thought that they had other things, especially like anxiety and ADD and things like that. Anytime your mind is active or you have feelings of anxiousness, usually that is spirit trying to communicate with you.